After taking on the role of a manipulative, green tea character in a reality show, I meticulously followed every clause of the contract, yet I still couldn't escape being exposed. On television, I'm a lazy, gluttonous, spoiled girl who doesn't lift a finger to do anything. But in the photos, it's a world of difference. In the photos, I'm carrying a heavy load of chopping, my arm muscles bulging. On the show, I'm weak and fragile like a brand new mat that hasn't been brushed by the elements. In the photos, I'm braving the cold and haggling over every penny with an old man at the market. Because of Nam Hao, the audience was furious, asking, "What kind of editing is this? My good girl is being turned into a hypocritical white lotus." The production team nervously flipped through my self-introduction form, trembling as they said, "The director chose her because she's very good at playing the green tea role." You're listening to the story at Yan Hua Pavilion. We hope you enjoy your relaxing moments. On the day the cast of Fragrant Countryside Wind was announced, social media erupted. The Golden Award-winning actress, the famous singer, the hot influencer Zhao Fan, everyone was shining brightly. By noon, the director's extravagant spending could already be smelled. Bui Lulu, Song Zai Shen, Sui Sui, and then me, Si Zio Wen. Everyone was bewildered. Who is this person? Did they get in through the back door? How much salary must they have to get in? Unfortunately, they guessed wrong. The top 5 positions were all assigned by the higher-ups, only the 6th spot was selected. People were scrambling to submit applications with resumes miles long, while I sent a handwritten letter to the director. The content was concise. Many big stars wouldn't stoop to playing the green tea role, but I got it. I didn't care about appearances, so I got accepted. Hearing the recording equipment, even before the cameras were turned on, I proactively went to greet the guests. "Hello, teachers. My name is 2T I letter 1EC3 Uvan. My role in the program is the lazy worm who eats a lot, the spoiled young lady, and the ultimate manipulative green tea. If I offend anyone, it's all for the sake of the program's success. I hope everyone will be understanding." I even bowed 90 degrees respectfully. Politeness was the minimum, and character could be considered later. The currently popular young actress, Tai Tu letter 1EBF, was the quickest to react. She smirked faintly. "Oh, you've already written your script before filming even starts." Her image had always been that of an innocent white lotus, but her words were surprisingly sharp. I didn't want to cause trouble, so I just smiled and let it go. Veteran actress Bui L letter 1ED9 L letter 1ED9 quickly intervened. "It's okay, everyone understands." The others also chimed in to smooth things over, but their gazes at me were even more scrutinizing. I smiled broadly. I deliberately distanced myself from everyone to look out of place and appear aloof on camera, feigning nobility. I planned everything out, but I didn't realize that several cameras had been secretly filming not far away. Your little house is still very primitive, with no cooking ingredients, no firewood. Everything depends on your own efforts. The director shouted loudly, pointing to the mountain behind them, then turning back to point at the 6 axes. Since there are no crops available for now, the program allows us to use firewood to exchange for food. Guests, please begin. I looked at the other 5, and they looked back at me. Everyone was stunned. In the very first episode, they were making us chop firewood. The director was really bold, daring to make a bunch of celebrities chop firewood for a living. But in this industry, everyone understands that those under the eaves can't help but bow their heads. In the end, they still had to step up and pick up the axe. Except for the subservient one who clearly showed his displeasure, the others, though not happy, maintained a cold expression. Seeing this peaceful scene, the director was dissatisfied. He winked at me and I understood immediately. I picked up the axe, estimated its weight, and then threw it straight to the ground. "What kind of axe is this?" "It's as heavy as lead, I can't even lift it. Are you making me carry it up the mountain?" "No way." The director, playing along perfectly, immediately feigned reluctance. "This is a program rule, you should abide by it." "What kind of rules are these? I'm not filming anymore." I pouted, my eyes almost turning red. The atmosphere was tense when Song Zishan, the second highest ranking person after Pei Lulu, spoke up to mediate. "Come on, if Zio Wen can't carry it, then don't go. She can rest at home too. He's the second highest ranking person here, only after Pei Lulu, so when he speaks, the others have to show him some respect." The director reluctantly agreed. "Okay, fine." After the cut was announced, the production team started carrying the equipment up the mountain. I secretly ran to Song Zishan, gave him a thumbs up, and praised, "Uncle Song, you're amazing." "Luckily, Uncle is willing to let me continue acting," Song Zishan said with a wide grin. "My acting isn't bad either, is it? I'm tired of singing all the time, maybe I'll try acting in a movie someday." Actress Pei Lulu, passing by, joined the conversation but directed it at me. Zio Wen, your acting just now wasn't bad, it's just that the scene transition was a bit awkward. You just said you couldn't hold the slingshot, and then you burst into tears and demanded to be let go of the slingshot. The emotions came on too quickly. The actress, a triple Golden Award winner, personally taught me, and I quickly memorized it. I understand, next time I'll add a little more guidance. Is there anything else I need to improve? She spoke seriously, and I took notes seriously. Who would have thought that the actress's private class would be teaching me how to be a perfect green tea, a term for manipulative and manipulative woman? Ms. Lu, what are you two talking about? I want to hear too. The voice of Sway echoed from afar, and in the blink of an eye she appeared. Pei Lulu smiled lightly. I'm teaching Zio Wen how to act. Sway, she immediately pushed her way through, taking Bui Lulu's arm. Then I definitely have to listen. I've loved your movies the most since I was a child. Bui Lulu maintained her faint smile. Then go call Zhang Bai and see Chi over, I'll explain it to the whole group. Me? Tai Tu pouted, seeing that Bui Lulu hadn't changed her mind, she reluctantly left. After she left, Bui Lulu turned to me and asked, did you remember everything I said just now? I nodded, yes, I remembered. She stretched, then I'll go now. When they arrive later, just tell them I'm tired and going to rest. If they really want to learn, show them the notes. I was a little bewildered. Yes. Bui Lulu gave a mysterious smile. Your in-person class is very valuable, you know. Then she turned and left decisively. Looking at her back, I thought to myself, this actress is quite interesting. After they went up the mountain, I was dragged around filming for an hour with a bunch of pointless, useless scenes, very pathetic. Only after the director nodded in satisfaction did I jump up from the sofa like a carp transforming into a dragon. Director, can I go sweep the house now? The director was half laughing, half crying. People pretend to be diligent in front of the camera, but do nothing behind the scenes, while she was the complete opposite. I chuckled, my acting is very professional. By the time everyone returned, I had cleaned the house inside and out spotlessly. The others exchanged the firewood they had chopped for some basic ingredients, preparing to cook rice. Si Chi suggested dividing into groups of 2, with each group cooking in turns each day. So everyone has time, right? Everyone agreed except for the director, who frowned, feeling there was something wrong with this part. It was too harmonious. A reality show shouldn't be that harmonious. So I had to step in. I don't know how to cook, don't count me in. I crossed my arms, my face full of disdain. 2K1EF3 stared at me with wide eyes, wondering how someone who doesn't know how to cook could be so focused on survival. Oh, I've been a pampered young lady since I was little. I've never lifted a finger to cook. Is that not allowed? 2K1EF3, who had always cultivated an image of a capable homemaker, finally revealed her anger. What do you mean? Does being good at cooking mean you're not loved by your parents? I shrugged. You said that yourself. All right, Bui L1ED9 interrupted, rubbing her forehead. Tonight, I'll cook with teacher T1ED1NG. You kids can go sit in the living room and rest. The director on set gave an okay gesture, and I immediately knew when to stop, turning to leave. Just as I passed 2K1EF3, she quickly extended her hand. A strong opponent indeed. 2K1EF3 had been famous online for many years, her hot figure and seductive voice memorable, and she'd been called a green tea by netizens, involved in countless dramas. I quickly shook her hand, and she did the same. I was sitting in the living room watching TV for a while when I saw Bui L1ED9 come out. Soon after, she returned carrying a basket. Catching a glimpse of what was in the basket, I immediately asked Ms. Lu, did everyone go up the mountain to pick mushrooms again this afternoon? Bui Lulu laughed and replied, yes, there are a lot of them growing up there. We picked enough to make a plate of stir-fried wild mushrooms. I craned my neck to take a closer look and immediately called her over. Wait a minute, I said, pointing to the basket filled with poisonous mushrooms. Bui Lulu's expression immediately changed. I stepped forward and pulled out a brightly colored mushroom. Haven't you ever heard the saying? Red mushrooms with white spots, eat them and you'll be dead. It's exactly like this one. Even if you were sitting right outside the door eating it, you wouldn't be able to save yourself. And this one, don't even think about eating it, your hands shouldn't touch food for 3 days. This one. Only after I had emptied the entire basket did they look up in disbelief. Did you all pick mushrooms based on an encyclopedia of poisonous mushrooms? I tried to sound joking, but no one could laugh. Everyone's faces were pale, They had almost lost their lives to poisonous mushrooms. The most panicked was the director. He hadn't expected this mushroom-picking incident and hadn't hired any experts to identify poisonous mushrooms. If 6 guests were to get into trouble during his show, the night would be anything but pleasant. The director was drenched in sweat, completely disregarding filming, and rushed to photograph each mushroom on the ground as if asking for someone else's opinion. After a while, the director went from squatting to sitting down completely. Everything Zai Wen said was true. They were all poisonous mushrooms. Although Sui was terrified and burst into tears, she pointed at the production team and scolded them. "Are you deliberately trying to kill us? What if I actually ate poisonous mushrooms? Can you all bear the responsibility?" The director, at a loss for words, could only bow his head in apology and hiss. The others, whether out of fear or relief at having escaped harm, were all silent. The director looked up at me. "This time, we really have to thank Zai Wen." I waved my hand. "It's nothing." Si Chi was a little puzzled, but how did she know all that? I replied, "Of course, because I grew up in the mountains, and I've been picking mushrooms since I was little." She was surprised. Just a moment ago, she said she was a pampered young lady. I chuckled softly. "Isn't that just character portrayal? I'm so poor, really so poor. So even knowing the danger, I can't pass up these free wild mushrooms. I'm so poor, really so poor. So even knowing I'll get backlash, I still have to try my best to play the role of the green tea in the show to highlight the kindness of others. If we don't have money for grandma's medicine and my sister's tuition, what will we do?" After a chaotic scene, the first meal after the cameras started rolling was finally over. Song Zishan, who had a Coca-Cola can, also shared a drink with me, thanking Zai Wen for her extensive knowledge. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have had the chance to see the sun rise tomorrow. Except for Sui, everyone else was equally clueless. Sui crossed her arms and snorted coldly, just a blind cat catching a fried fish. Her voice wasn't quiet, but everyone here was shrewd enough to pretend not to hear, still smiling and thanking me, which made me feel a little embarrassed. I said that next time we go hiking, I'll go mushroom hunting, ensuring the whole family gets to enjoy a delicious meal of fresh, stir-fried wild mushrooms. The rustic charm of the show meant it was broadcast as soon as filming was complete. Therefore, as soon as filming was finished, the production team quickly edited and set up the platform that same day. While the 6 of us were still asleep, the online comments were already raging. Initially, the atmosphere was quite harmonious until the axe scene. When they saw me throw the axe to the ground, the audience immediately erupted. Even actress Bui Lo, in her 40s, didn't complain at all. What right did she have to do that? If she has princess syndrome, can't she just stay away from reality TV? She's probably a mistress being kept by a rich man, weak and helpless, incapable of doing anything strenuous. The most common reason for female artists to be slandered is through dirty rumors. Even without evidence, just one person's words spread everywhere, and the more they spread, the more believable they sound. Without a rich man backing her, how dare she be so arrogant? In this day and age, even mistresses dare to be so presumptuous. I suggest banning her. When the ban reached the cooking scene, the screen was almost completely filled with abusive comments. "Over 20 years old and can't cook, why don't you just starve to death? What's the point of being in reality TV if you can't cook? It's disgusting." I've hated Si Chi for a long time, but I never expected there to be someone even more hateful. It's truly eye-opening. Compared to her, Si Chi seems much more sensible. The first episode ended with me and Si Chi arguing. At the same time, I completely stole the spotlight. Si Zioen is out of the entertainment industry. Si Zioen caused trouble. Being a good cook really means you're not loved by your parents. Oh, and the comments on my WBO are all unbearable insults. I didn't even bother opening my private messages. Some people even photoshopped my pictures into ridiculous images, even black and white ones. This is social media. They don't necessarily hate me, they just want to find someone vulnerable to use my angry actions as a justification. It's that simple. The next morning, I woke up and instinctively reached for my phone by the bedside, but a hand pressed it down. Si Chi looked at me sternly. "Today it's our turn to cook. No time for phones, get up and make breakfast." I was drowsily dragged away by her to wash my face. At the dinner table, I wanted to take out my phone again to look at it. At this moment, the young actor Zhang Bai coughed a few times. "Sister Zai Wen, this dish you cooked is so delicious. How did you make it?" "Ah, this is green beans and potatoes. First, cut them into pieces and put them in a pan with oil for a quick stir. I said, lowering my head to continue looking at my phone. Zhang Bai called out to me again, "What about this dish?" Did I look at him with a serious expression? "This is scrambled eggs." Suddenly, I seemed to understand something and glanced around the table. "Are you all afraid I'll see you looking hot?" Zhang Bai choked on his food. Si Chi quickly stuffed a few mouthfuls of rice into her mouth. Bui Lulu gently comforted me, saying that it's normal for public figures to get criticized, don't be sad. I smiled and shook my head. It's okay. My character in this show is a manipulative woman. I've prepared myself mentally. Hearing me say that, everyone finally breathed a sigh of relief. The food we exchanged the day before was enough for a few days. So the next day, the whole group decided to clean up thoroughly at home. In the yard, firewood was piled high. To cook, only young children could handle it. Zhang Bai was the only young man in the group who volunteered to help with the firewood. An hour later, he was sweating profusely. "I'm cleaning inside the house and I saw you, so I came over, or let me try," he said. Zhang Bai waved his hand. "No, Sister Zai-Owen, this firewood is too hard. It's extremely tiring for young children." Although she was sweeping the yard, she snorted coldly, trying to show off in front of the camera again. "Don't overdo it and break your leg." I ignored her, just smiled and took the hoe from Zhang Bai's hand. Throwing firewood requires attention to angle and force. Just using brute force will only make you tired. Saying that, I gently split a round log in half. Zhang Bai's mouth was now shaped like an O. "Oh my god, Sister Zai-Owen, you're amazing." His voice was so exaggerated that it attracted the whole group to come outside and watch me chop firewood. Tui Sui felt embarrassed, her face turning red and then pale. What's so great about it? It's just chopping firewood." Zhang Bai immediately retorted, his voice slightly annoyed. "It's really difficult. Come on, come on." I pulled him aside, stopping him from speaking further. "This program only needs me as the supporting character. The others shouldn't argue anymore. I've seen enough of how vicious netizens are. I'll teach you how to use the right amount of force. Let's try to chop all the firewood from yesterday." After everyone left, Zhang Bai realized he had gone a little carried away, bowed his head, and whispered, "Sister Zai-Owen, thank you earlier." I waved my hand. "It's nothing." Although I was giving Zhang Bai instructions, for a boy who's lived in the city for over 20 years, it's naturally not very skillful to hold a hoe for the first time. So I decisively assigned him something else, and spent the whole afternoon chopping all the firewood myself. That night, I hid in the bathroom, calmly scrolling through the rapidly increasing comments. Although I had prepared myself mentally, reading those harsh words still dampened my spirit somewhat. "Come on, see Zai-Owen, having money is good." After this show, the cost of medicine for grandma won't be a worry anymore. I silently encouraged myself. Playing the game of the countryside wind and the countryside aired in the evening, much to the anticipation of millions. At the same time, a diehard fan gritted her teeth and uploaded a series of photos she held. When I mentioned that there were poisonous mushrooms in them, the screen was still full of abusive comments. She says there are poisonous mushrooms, but she's probably just talking about herself. Does she have X-ray vision? Why is she acting so much? Can't she be as innocent as our tutu? The most venomous thing about her is her mouth. Can't she just be quiet? It's so annoying. But when I started digging out each poisonous mushroom one by one, the audience suddenly fell silent. A few seconds later, a comment scrolled past. "Why does what she said make sense?" People started speaking up. "Isn't she just making things up to show off? Isn't she just making up a whole basket of mushrooms to stand out? Guys, I'm from Yunnan. I've been picking mushrooms since I was little, and I confirm that what she said is true. I'm both from Yunnan and a passerby." See, Zai-Owen is really right. These mushrooms are very poisonous. So this time she really saved the whole crew? The comments went silent again. Even so, it doesn't erase her bizarre behavior in the previous episode. Fans of Taiyu T U1EBF spoke up, and netizens started arguing in the comments again, splitting into factions. The camera panned to the next day, a scene where everyone was trying to stop me from looking at my phone. Was the comment just my imagination? Why does the scene seem so cute? That's right, in the previous episode, 2K1EF3 and 2TI1EC3, Yuvan seemed about to fight, but the next day they got up together to cook, and even prevented her from reading negative comments. So maybe their relationship isn't what we think. I chuckled, simply because my 2K1EF3 is so kind. It's so funny, did they think appearing on the show would whitewash their image? 2K1EF3 was once dubbed the #1 bad son-in-law on the internet. You haven't forgotten, have you? Heh, so it turns out they're two green tea girls who understand each other. Everyone's attention shifted from me to two K-letter 1EF3, then back to both of them. From cursing one to cursing both. Only a few weaklings spoke up. I felt they weren't as bad as everyone said, but I was immediately criticized by other netizens. Countryside Breeze caused a huge controversy, almost immediately dominating the trending topics after airing, mostly with hashtags insulting me. However, late at night, a very unusual hot search emerged, slowly climbing from the bottom to the top. Countryside Breeze's excessive editing. The keyword exploded. The person spreading the rumor was a woman, also a die-hard fan of Buey Lulu. She posted, "Initially, I only intended to film Lulu, and conveniently filmed a few scenes of the other guests as well. You can judge for yourselves by watching the video. I just want to ask if the production team's malicious editing to bully a young girl like that is excessive." The first video was from the first day of filming, where I bowed to greet the other guests. In the video, I bowed very low, with a friendly smile on my face, completely devoid of any arrogant, spoiled demeanor. The second video shows everyone going up the mountain to chop firewood while I'm home alone sweeping. The video is fast-forwarded, showing me sweeping for 3 hours straight without a break. These two clips exploded overnight, shared by countless social media accounts. The comments exceeded 1 million. So, see Zioen, is this polite? We misunderstood her. I told them to let the bullet fly a little longer, but no one listened. The production team should apologize immediately. Of course, there were also some negative comments. What do these two videos prove? Weren't those controversial statements from the previous episode her own? That's right, if you want to clear your name, just say it directly, don't pretend to be a fan of her to gain sympathy. The two sides argued fiercely, neither willing to back down. Public opinion was heated all night. The next morning, the director immediately announced that phones would be confiscated to prevent online comments from affecting the filming of the guests. From today onwards, all communication devices will be confiscated until filming is finished. The whole group didn't know what had happened last night, and everyone's faces were blank. Tui crossed her arms and said in a sour tone, "It affected the guests filming." Affected whom? Wasn't it just one of us who got scolded? Everyone immediately understood, their eyes showing they knew. Tui Sui added, "It wasn't enough that I got scolded for causing trouble, and now they've dragged us all into this and had our phones confiscated too." I bowed my head apologetically. Song Zai Shen comforted me, "It's nothing, just consider it a treat for the eyes." Pei Lulu chimed in, "That's right, remember when I was filming, it was common to be out of touch with the outside world for months." Hearing this, Tui Sui's face turned pale. She stomped her foot and angrily stormed off. The director standing beside me wanted to say something, but then stopped. He didn't dare admit it, but he was actually afraid I'd see the plot twist online and refused to continue playing the manipulative, green tea character, so he confiscated my phone beforehand. The show continued filming normally for a while longer. That day, the production team gave each team some money and told us to go to the market to buy food. To add more drama, the production team deliberately arranged for me and Tucci to go in the same group. That cunning director had seen through the animosity between me and Tucci a long time ago. 50 yuan, enough to buy all the ingredients for dinner tonight. So, the three of us rode together on a wobbly tricycle to the market. We had no idea that as soon as we arrived at the market gate, a young girl excitedly pulled her friend's hand and exclaimed, "Look! Isn't that the Countryside Breeze production team?" It seems so. I recognized Tucci, she's so beautiful, quickly turn on the live stream. A live stream room that normally nobody watches suddenly surpassed 100,000 viewers in the blink of an eye. Unexpectedly, this heated scene unfolded. The live stream quickly blurred out as they watched to see if C. Zioen was as hateful in real life as she was on the show. Hateful my foot, speak in a civilized manner. And I never imagined that in just a few short days, I would have my own group of online fans. They were convinced I was a victim of malicious editing and proactively spoke up to defend me across all platforms. This time, the production team only sent 2 cameramen, so no one in the group realized they were being live-streamed. At that moment, we were walking down a cobblestone street. A stray dog suddenly jumped out. Ah, Sui Sui was startled and frantically tried to run away. Sichi glanced at her. "Didn't you say on the show that you liked dogs the most?" That one sentence immediately made Sui Sui freeze. She tried to appear calm and turned around. "That's right, I like puppies the most." I immediately recognized her shifty demeanor. But actually, the entertainment industry's image building is quite normal, especially for the innocent, pure type like her. The image of loving dogs and cats is commonplace, and I didn't want to waste time on it, so I changed the subject. The vegetable stall is just ahead. However, looking at the camera, her panicked expression and the edited footage from earlier were definitely captured. So she immediately started stroking the stray dog's head with a pitiful expression. "Poor thing, you probably haven't eaten anything, have you? Let me buy you something." After saying that, she was about to run to the next shop to buy sausages. I stared in disbelief. "Are you crazy? There are 7 of us and we only have 50 yuan." Tui Sui bit her lip, but she looked so pathetic. I pouted helplessly. If I were hungry, I'd be just as pathetic. Tui bowed her head thoughtfully for a moment then, as if making a decision, looked up and said, "Okay, I'll skip dinner tonight. Consider it giving my meal to the dog." I frowned. How could that be? If she really sat there watching us eat, we'd be the ones getting scolded. Before I could even open my mouth, Si spoke first. "All right, you said it, so you'll do it." After saying that, she pulled me towards the counter. At this point, the livestream room exploded in the comments section. I was speechless. She hadn't even eaten enough yet, and she was giving food to a dog. Did she think she was doing a good deed? Everyone clearly saw that when the stray dog appeared, she was so scared she almost ran away, only stopping when Si reminded her. I wanted to see if she really skipped dinner tonight. I hate the saintly female protagonist type in novels. Live streamer, please yell at Tui. There's no more White Lotus type stuff anymore. People love strong female protagonists. But we were completely clueless at the time. I was arguing with the vegetable stall owner, shivering from the cold. "Potatoes 5 yuan a pound? Are you trying to rob me?" Seeing that we weren't dressed like locals, and certainly not like typical market goers, the owner immediately started quoting prices several times higher. He even said arrogantly, "Buy it or leave, don't disrupt my business." That really annoyed me. I immediately rolled up my sleeves and stood up. "Are you ripping me off? I can call 115 to complain about you, you know?" As soon as he heard about the complaint, the owner's aggressive demeanor instantly deflated. "Girl, let's talk things over calmly. I was wrong earlier. How about this? I'll give you some extra green onions, okay?" I was about to leave with the potatoes and green onions when I was stopped by the dog keeper, who had just finished feeding his dog. She didn't know the whole story. She just saw that I only paid for the potatoes but took an extra bunch of onions. So she immediately criticized me. "Zio Wen, how can you take things for free? Even if you don't have money, you can't just eat without paying." After saying that, she put the bunch of onions back in its place. The owner thought I had changed my mind and wanted to complain, so he panicked and almost cried. "Girl, it was me who ordered that bunch of onions. Please take it. Please don't complain." Tui Sui glared at me. "You dare to be so arrogant and threaten people? Me? Ellipsis, Si. Ellipsis. Netizens watching the livestream. Ellipsis. I've seen saintly female leads before, but I've never seen one this saintly. Can anyone recommend a rat poison advertising contract for Tui Sui? Remember to film the drinking scene. Doesn't anyone think Jingxi Zio Wen's bargaining is so cool? She's so resourceful. I don't even know how much vegetables cost at the market. If it were me, I'd probably get ripped off but still happily pay." When we carried the vegetables back to our little house, everything that happened that afternoon had already gone straight to the hot search. I really wanted to go from hating to liking her. Zioen seemed so approachable. The live stream and what was shown on the show were worlds apart. It must have been poorly edited. And she was so bold. If I had been yelled at like that by the vegetable vendor, I would have run away, but she even knew where to complain. It's a bit strange, though. Didn't she say she was a pampered young lady? Why is she getting involved in such worldly matters? But all that online commotion is irrelevant to us right now, because we don't know anything. Tai Tu letter 1 BF was still gleefully thinking that the scene of her kindly feeding the dog would be praised on air. Little did she know that the audience was no longer interested in that trick. After dinner, she sat down to eat as if she hadn't said anything about giving her food to the dog. Seeing that 2K letter 1EF3 and I didn't say anything, she also pretended not to have said anything. After all, after working all day, hunger is still hunger. That night, when no one was around, 2K letter 1EF3 secretly whispered to me, "Tai Tu letter 1EBF's manager is very observant. They definitely won't let the production team air what she said that afternoon. I've filmed with her before, and she's tricked me quite a few times." 2K letter 1EF3 whispered softly to me. I immediately realized no wonder 2K1EF3, with her hot temper, rarely had direct conflicts with Tai TU1EBF throughout the show. In the past few days of filming together, 2K1EF3 had truly come to see me as her. You, she asked, slightly worried. After the ordeal is over, what are you going to do? I gave a wry smile. I don't know. My reputation is probably ruined. There's probably no place for me in the entertainment industry anymore. Maybe I'll have to find another way. Chi sighed, wondering why I even agreed to play the manipulative, green tea role in the show. I just shrugged without answering. I'm not the type to complain, nor do I want to publicly reveal how seriously ill my grandmother is. That's my last shred of dignity. Just as I was considering whether I should set up a stall at the market or learn a proper trade, a wave of clearly conflicting comments about me and Tai Tu started appearing online. Especially when viewers noticed that she was calmly sitting at the dinner table that evening, even though she herself had said on the live stream that she wouldn't be eating that night, giving her portion to the dog. The manager might have prevented that segment from being aired, but everyone heard it clearly on the live stream. Yet now she was eating as if nothing had happened. Not only that, viewers started digging deeper. They discovered that in previous shows, Tai Tu also liked to project an image of kindness and love for animals, but behind the scenes, she would yell at staff and act petty, truly a two-faced person. Just as Tai Tu's image was rapidly crumbling, reaching its peak, a revealing post about me was unexpectedly released. Shocking. It turns out the image of a wealthy socialite celebrity was just a facade. The article didn't name me directly, but it clearly stated that I was a guest on a recently trending reality TV show. In the show, I claimed to have been spoiled since childhood, but in reality, I was orphaned at a young age and raised by my grandmother. She even relied on scholarships to complete my university education. This exposé immediately crushed my popularity. Those who had previously turned against me and become my fans are now starting to doubt me. Why would I lie on the show? Was it because of pride and vanity? Unfortunately, I didn't have my phone, so I didn't see anything, and of course, I couldn't speak up to explain. Online, there are countless people who blindly follow the crowd, attacking anyone who gets criticized, regardless of the truth. And so, the fire of public opinion shifted, once again burning me. At that moment, someone claiming to be my former classmate stepped forward and spoke up. She posted a group graduation photo, then wrote a long explanation. I'm Xiao Wen's high school classmate, I can testify. Her family isn't well off, but she's always been very strong, never complaining about her circumstances. Once, I was too embarrassed to tell anyone about my period. It was Xiao Wen who secretly gave me a sanitary pad. I discovered it was individually packaged, and only then did I realize how difficult her situation was. I don't believe a girl like that is greedy for fame and fortune. She must have her own troubles. Please don't rush to attack her. Thanks to her initiative, other fans of the show also came forward to support me. They released videos of me chopping wood, picking mushrooms, and farming. In the videos, I worked neatly and quickly, each swing of the axe splitting a log in two, leaving Zhang Bai staring in amazement. I planted and harvested even faster than the male artists, and I even picked mushrooms. I got a large basket of mushrooms so everyone could enjoy a fragrant stir-fried wild mushroom dish. The production team didn't write a lengthy explanation, just added a single sentence. Is someone like that really a vain person? The audience suddenly realized they'd been misled, because the scenes where I worked diligently weren't broadcast at all. The production team wanted to portray me as a green tea, a term for a manipulative woman, so they only edited together scenes of me resting, making the audience think I was lazy and arrogant. It wasn't until the fan page released the video that everyone discovered these scenes were completely unfamiliar. This was the first time they'd seen them. Hey, that clip of Xiao Wen haggling with the vegetable vendor that made her famous. That was also a live stream, right? That's right, such a wonderful moment, and the program kept it. Before, I suspected she used backhanded tactics to get into the industry, but now it turns out she was just a pawn chosen to be a scapegoat. How dare you bully my daughter, director? I'll fight you to the death. In the blink of an eye, from hardcore fans and indignant casual fans to anti-fans turning against me because they saw this. A mistake occurred, and everyone rushed to comment under the official WBO page of the program's production team. Rural scenery was filmed over half a month, and in the blink of an eye, it was almost over. That day, while we were working in the fields, the director suddenly announced that the final episode would be filmed via livestream. I, carrying my hoe, somewhat skeptically asked Director Chen, "Why do you look so dark-eyed today?" The director glanced at me, hesitating to speak. He didn't dare tell me that he had been criticized by netizens for the past few days. Si-Chi also spoke up, wondering why they suddenly changed to a live stream. She's a popular internet personality, so she's extremely sensitive to these kinds of things. The director sighed, saying it was because the audience's demands were too strong. Everyone was confused, not understanding what was happening. Tui Tui was silent for a moment, then suddenly burst into a sarcastic laugh, looking at me. Wasn't cursing online enough? Now they wanted to live stream to directly insult me to my face? That hurt, but I couldn't think of any more plausible reason. I remembered that even before my phone was confiscated, social media was already flooded with malice directed at me. So they hated me this much? I silently sighed to myself, resigned to the situation. After enduring it for a while, the live stream day passed. The 6 of us sat in a semicircle, with a huge TV in front of us to easily read the live comments from the audience. The director started the live stream at 1:10, and the TV screen immediately showed close-ups of all 6 of our faces. The number of online viewers skyrocketed to over 1 million. Si-Jai whispered in my ear, "I didn't expect the show to be this popular." I just smiled faintly, but I was so nervous I couldn't hear what she was saying. My entire attention was focused on the comments, because, in my imagination, this would be a grueling and awkward livestream. But the insults I imagined didn't appear. The director asked each person to greet the audience through the camera in turn. When it was my turn, the bottom left corner of the screen suddenly exploded with a barrage of comments. "My beloved daughter is here, my strong and kind goddess. Finally, I get to see you. The young queen, Zio Wen, is online. Sob asterisk. I also want to eat the wild mushrooms that she picked." I was stunned. The other guests were also dumbfounded. Bui Lulu, sitting next to me, had initially prepared to comfort me. But when she saw those comments, her hand, which was about to pat my back, hung in midair, unable to pat, unable to let go. The camera quickly panned to Song Zishan sitting next to me, and the commenting immediately slowed down. Most of the comments were polite and neutral, lacking the fervent enthusiasm seen when I appeared. The last person to greet was Sui Sui. Today she was wearing a white dress, with light makeup, as gentle as a newly bloomed lotus flower. As soon as she saw the camera pointed at her, she straightened her back and flashed a sweet smile, but that smile quickly froze on her face. The reason was simple. In these kinds of live interactive segments, the artist's fan club usually has a team to control the comments to prevent negative remarks. However, Sui Sui's comments were completely uncontrollable. "The White Lotus has appeared. Are you planning to use the group's dinner money to buy sausages for the dog tonight? I've liked you all year, and I never expected you to be the kind of person who scolds and berates the assistant backstage, your face turning pale and then flushed." She started losing control of her emotions, yelling at the director, "Why is it like this? Wasn't there a delay? This is someone else's comment, isn't it?" The someone else she was referring to was obviously me. As a result, the audience became even angrier. Seeing that the situation was getting out of hand, the director quickly adjusted the camera to focus on me. Immediately, the comments became as gentle as a spring breeze. After the live stream, everyone had different feelings. The most bewildered among them was me. I wasn't insulted. Was she calling me daughter? Everyone went back to their little homes and started packing. After all, it was the last episode, and everyone went home after filming. The director returned the phones to each person. The whole group understood without saying a word, and immediately pulled out their phones to check the trending topics. I was surprised to find my fan base had skyrocketed to over 1 million. Tui Sui was on the phone, presumably with her manager. After hanging up, her expression turned extremely grim. What was she planning? It wasn't until Si-Chi shielded me that I realized Tui Sui was charging straight at me. "Get out of my way." Tui Tui shoved Si-Chi aside, pointed at me, and almost screamed, "It's you, isn't it? It's you who pulled this stunt. Why were all my advertising contracts canceled? Why did the film crew terminate their collaboration? It's all your fault." Being falsely accused for such a long time, I didn't feel angry at all. On the contrary, I found it a little funny. "Tui Tui, you know better than I do. I have no resources, no connections. Otherwise, from the beginning of the show, she wouldn't have had to curry favor with all the seniors on the crew, but only targeted me. She must have investigated my background early on." As soon as I finished speaking, Tui Tui seemed to have been hit where it hurt. When there was no one else to vent her anger on, she collapsed to the ground. I'm not reconciled, I just aren't reconciled. I've had to pretend to be this innocent girl for so many years, never getting to be myself in front of the camera for even a single day. Why, as soon as you appeared, could you be so blunt? She said she'd play a manipulative green tea character. Why? Why does the audience like her? Does she know how many old men I slept with just to get this chance on the show? She almost screamed in despair. I was so shocked I couldn't think straight. Instinctively, I looked up at the ceiling. Luckily, the cameras had been taken down a long time ago. Now that the show was over, there were no cameras recording, and only the three of us were left in the room. Si-Chi pulled my hand, quietly led me out, and gently closed the door. I hesitated before asking her. Si-Chi sighed. Even the wicked have their pitiable sides. After leaving fragrant countryside wind, I suddenly received countless offers for talent, and scripts poured in. Bui Lulu even generously gave me her manager's number, not forgetting to tell me to try my best and continue her legacy. She genuinely had high expectations for me. Si-Chi occasionally pulled me to film videos together, helping me increase my visibility on social media platforms. The Gathering. Song Zishan and Zhang Bai are male artists, so it's difficult for them to be too publicly close. But both of them sent me congratulatory messages. As for Sui Sui, she's still active in the industry, but her treatment and status have clearly declined. Even her name is gradually fading, rarely appearing. After the show ended, director Chen was still stuck with the label of malicious editing for a long time. Finally, out of options, he had to publicly release the self-recommendation letter I had sent from the beginning. The last line on the letter was printed in huge letters, unmistakable. Director, choose me, I'm extremely skilled at playing the role of a despicable person. The audience then realized. Everyone gasped. I told you so. No wonder Zio Wen said those things. It turned out to be all scripted. When netizens looked back at my initial introduction photo, they almost had the same reaction. It was a misunderstanding. Sorry, director, disperse, disperse. Director Chen couldn't help but call me to complain. Your fan is really something. This level of idolization is a bit excessive. At that time, I was at the best nursing home in the city, visiting my grandmother. I chuckled. Haha, sorry, director, I made you take the blame for me. He lowered his voice. Oh, but I have a new talent on my team today, what do you think? I teased. Are you still inviting me to play the green tea role? He waved his hand frantically over the phone. No, who in this industry would dare let you play a villain anymore? I laughed along. My grandmother, who was sunbathing, turned to ask her granddaughter, why are you laughing so happily? I took her hand and gently replied, Grandma, it seems I've truly stepped out of this industry. I didn't fully understand the rules of this world, I only knew how to seriously do the small things within my reach. For example, playing the green tea role well, doing the background work for others. But as long as you're sincere and kind enough, someone will definitely see it. Isn't that right? Hone Chin Van, thank you for taking the time to listen. I always appreciate all your feedback and suggestions. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, or subscribe to support us.